Tony Rice's guitar break on Brown Mountain Light from his album Plays and Sings Bluegrass. This should be a pretty short and sweet solo, so let's slow it down to 70% and then dig right into it. Alright, so this solo is capoed on the 2nd fret, played out of the C position, so any note names that I throw out there are relative to that capo, they're not relative to the nut. Now, the solo is a little bit strange because it's mostly closed position up the neck. Now, one of the things that's really going to help if you're learning how to play this for the first time is if you feel really comfortable with your closed position triad. So in the key of C, this is the kind of shapes I'm talking about. If you're really comfortable with those shapes and know where those notes lie, the names of those notes as you go through it, then the solo is going to make some more sense for you. And if you don't, then that would be something that'd be really handy to start practicing as you develop more neck facility, okay? So let's break this solo into some smaller chunks. Here's that very, very first phrase. Okay, so let's break those notes down. You're going to take your pinky and you're going to slide from a high D up to a high E. Okay, and then the pattern after that is 1, 2, and that second finger is going to land on the B string instead. So, right? So, super high E, C, A. And you're going to hold on to that A for a minute. Okay, then you're going to scoot your hand back 1 fret, so your pinky is going to land back on that high D again. And you're going to pull off from that high D to that high B with your first finger, G with your second finger on the B string, and then land on that E. That's one of those shapes that I was just talking about, right? Right, so you do that twice. I start with an upstroke, pull off, and another upstroke, downstroke, and then do it again. Okay, so that very first phrase again. Okay, that second phrase that goes right into it. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your first finger and it's going to be on that high C and you're going to slide it back to 5th position. All right, you're going to slide it back a few frets to land on that A on the E string. So 1-to-1 slide on an upstroke. You're going to catch that G with your pinky on the next string over. And you're going to catch that F natural with your second finger, right? So you got C, A, G, F. Right, that shape that, again, I was showing you earlier. Okay, then you're going to catch the A again, G, pull off from F down to E with your first finger, then slide back to 3rd position to catch that D with your first finger, okay? Okay, so up, up. E again, D, C with your 3rd finger on the G string. Then I'm going to stretch. I'm going to take my first finger back to the 2nd fret for that A. Okay. 3rd finger for that G on the D string. Back to that first finger on the A. Okay, so that was a little bit of a stretch. So here's that phrase again. All right, so you're going to go right into that 3rd phrase, okay? So your 3rd finger is going to land on that C. Your first finger is going to catch that high D on the B string, okay? Then you're going to stretch. Your 2nd finger is going to land on the E above it on the 5th fret. And then you're going to use that to slide into this G on the B string, okay? Then your pinky is going to walk over to catch that high D. And you're just going to go down. C pulls off down to B. Your 2nd finger finds that G again. Your 3rd finger goes on the string below it to land on that E. And then you catch your open B string, and that's going to help you transition here in a second, okay? Here's that lick by itself. One more time. Okay, it sounds weird by itself. Here it is when you add the 2nd lick to it, okay? Makes a little bit more sense. It's still weird, okay? All right, so this fourth lick, all right, you've just played that open B string. That's going to let you transition as you shift your hand down the neck back into third position, okay? So in third position, you're going to take your second finger. It's going to actually be on the fourth fret here for an E flat, okay? This is how we're going to start the fourth lick. Here's what it sounds like. Okay, but again, that open B is going to help you transition so you can land on that target, that E flat. Okay, this one's a little goosey, okay, so here's the note. So you're going to pull off from E flat down to D. This is a downstroke, down, okay? You're going to take your third finger to land on that C again, and your second finger is going to land below it on that G on the D string, okay? So you're going to go down, down, up. Okay, it's a little awkward. Now, after you've played that G on the D string, your third finger is going to land on that A on the E string. Okay, that's also going to be a downstroke. Then you're going to pull off again from that E flat down to D. You're going to play that C one more time. Then you're going to scooch back, first finger A on the G string. Okay. And then land on that G, okay? E flat, D, C, G, A, E flat, D, C, A, G. Okay, let's put the third lick and the fourth lick together so you can hear that transition, okay? I know it's a little weird, but I promise it makes sense. All right, so here's the last part of the whole solo. Okay, so we're going to actually kind of break this chunk a little bit in two, okay? So here's the first half of the last lick. Okay, so I'm going to do an upstroke from that A down to G as a pull-off, catch that E on an upstroke, and then G, D sharp, hammer on to E, and then catch your open G again. So A, G, E, G, D sharp, E, G. One more time. Okay, now here's the last part. It's kind of like the rule of three there at the very end, all right? So you got to pull, So you got to pull off from E flat down to D natural, upstroke on a low C, D, E flat, pull off down to D again, upstroke on that low C, D, and again another pull off from E flat down to D, and then land on that C again. And that's it. All right, so here's the last part of that lick. One more time. Okay, the whole last phrase. Okay, so that's the whole solo. That's the whole, like each chunk broken out. Here it is really, really slow. Okay, so practice it slow, practice it in each of those little chunks. Make sure, again, if you're not comfortable with those closed triads, that's a good thing to start practicing. And yeah, slowly build up speed.